The market slams down before the open before rallying back and then selling off into the close. So what does that mean? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so the market moved strongly down in the pre-market below the pivot on a 100-point 5-minute bar on the announcement of CPI data. Now, a 100-point bar is absolutely ridiculous on a 5-minute level. In fact, a daily 100-point bar is considered a really big trading day, and we got it in 5 minutes. So the market spent the rest of the day clawing back from that ridiculous bar. Then it sold off into the close, leaving us with a bearish setup. However, there are a couple possibilities to look at as well. I'll get into that in just 1 second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the Nasdaq. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, so with that huge bar in the pre-market down, moving down, you were bound to see some snapback, and that's what you saw for most of the day, a bullish run up, clawing back to close that gap, and then selling off into the close, which does give us a bearish setup. So let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1-hour futures chart for the S&P 500, and as you can see, this enormous bar here, this is the 1-hour chart, but on the 5-minute chart, it was almost all of this in one bar. You can see it pushed down through the pivot and then bounced back up today out of the pivot. Now, normal wave 3, you get the move into the pivot, and very often the first attempt down through the pivot fails and bounces up, which is what we saw today, just with a little bit of an overshoot here. They poked through and reversed back up into the pivot. The strength of that CPI bar was a little bit too much for the pivot to hold directly, and then they bounced it back up here, but we didn't get any what I call escape velocity down from the pivot. So I'm treating this just as a normal move down into the pivot, fail, and then move back up, and then we'll come down and try to move through the pivot again here in wave 3 down. So if they are able to now continue this sell-off down, and they're in a little bit of a bounce here, and then come back down through the pivot, then we would expect that wave 3 that we've been talking about with our first target down around that 37.12, 37.13 area, okay, and then a push further down to the 36.66 area. And if you look at how I have it counted, you have the 1 and the 2, and then if you count this mini 1, 2 here, it also projects down to the same area as all of wave 3. So all of wave 3 projects down to the 35.90 area in total. Wave 3 of 3 projects to either the 37.12 or 36.66 area. And this 1, 2 also projects down to this 35.90 area. So it lines up really well with our overall wave 3. And it looks pretty normal other than this ridiculous bar right here that, that shot down before the market opened. So all in all, it looks pretty normal for a wave 3 setup down other than this big bar here. However, if they are able to rally back up out of here, we could be looking at a bigger triangle for this wave B that we've been kind of stuck in if it's a ABC type setup. So we have this A wave up, and then we've been working on this B wave where we could have this red A for the first leg of the triangle, B for the second leg of the triangle here, okay? C down the low today that was struck, or yesterday that was struck, D back up, and then E down to complete the B wave, and then we would look for that C wave up towards 40.50. So if they're able to continue this push here back up towards about 3,900, and then we see a fail there and come back down in wave E, then it does look like we could be in a B wave triangle where you have A, B, C, D, E. So those are the paths that we're kind of watching on the ES. It's pretty simple. Really, if they break down below this low, the triangle invalidates. So this low that we struck today at 37.52, if they break below that, the triangle invalidates. And if they break above this high here at 38.33, then we could be looking at the D wave up here towards 3,900. The two targets down below, the first one starts at 37.12 if we're going to count this as a C wave down, and then for that B wave to complete in that fashion, then we would look for a sharp reversal there up towards the 4,000 region. But if 37.12 breaks and we continue down towards that 36.66 region, then we should continue on towards 34.50. All right, guys, so over on the Nasdaq, okay, so similar setup. We got the big spike down here in the CPI data bar that brought us down, and then we spiked up off of it. So we saw the same type of bounce that we saw in ES, and now again the move down. And if we're going to see that, we should see that continued move down towards 11,250. If they're going to hold that area, this would coincide with that 37.13 hold on the ES. We would look for both of them to hold in those areas and then start a sharp rally higher up towards that 12,550 area. However, if they cannot hold that 11,250 area, then they should break down lower towards that 10,006 to 10,500 area to extend that wave A lower. So that wave A that we have down here, they would extend that lower. The other option we have on the Nasdaq is they also have a triangle set up off of this A wave high with A, B, C, and then if they can continue this rally up and break out over this high here, then they would be looking at the D wave up around 12,170 and then E down to about 11,560 before we see that C wave up towards 12,550 on the Nasdaq. So very similar setups on both, and that's pretty standard with a markets trade in step and pretty cut and dry right now of what we're looking at for the markets. Guys, if you like the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. Okay, there's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It'll bring you right over to the website. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. They both come with a 7-day free trial, and that's because I want you to get in there, test it out, make sure it's for you, and become part of our trading team so that you can make sure you love it before you ever spend a penny. All right, we have 2 incredible rooms. In the first room, my Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, and all of your Elliott Wave questions answered. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing trade, which means our trades last anywhere from a few days to a few months. And that means we don't trade quite as often as a day trading room does. But if you are looking for day trading, as well as individual stocks, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks, day trading, and PT's reduced risk binary method that crushes the market. You see guys in there all the time doing well, hitting 800% gains, and it's all based on how the trade is structured. And it's a very unique trading style, something you kind of have to see to fully understand, which is why we give you that 7-day free trial to make sure it's something that you want to do. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into a small account and trades mini ES future using disciplined trading methods, averaging 3 to 4% gains in there per week, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. He is absolutely crushing it in there, guys. So come join us over at investwithjacob.com. We'd love to have you in the rooms, guys, so we can make some money together. All right, key takeaways for today. We're watching the market to see if they can continue this wave 3 down and break back below the pivot. And if they can break back below the pivot and take out this low, 1, that invalidates the triangle, and 2, it makes it very likely we're headed to at least 37.15 and possibly 36.66. However, if they do continue this rally and try to push up higher over this high and ultimately over this high, then it becomes much more likely we are looking at a triangle where we would hit up around 3,900, then look for a D wave down, and then look for an explosive move higher towards that 4,050 area. Over on the Nasdaq, okay, same type of setup. We're looking for a move down here that breaks this low, all right, and holds the 11,250 area. However, if 11,250 breaks, it does look like we would extend down towards the 10,600, 10,500 zone to extend this the bigger A wave lower. And if they do continue this rally and take out this high and then this high, then it becomes very likely we're heading up towards this 12,170 area for this wave D, and then look for an E down in the triangle, and then a breakout up towards that 12,550 area. That is the market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.